Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, hello and welcome to my channel. Today I'll be doing another flower painting tutorial and we'll be doing another hibiscus because it's just one of my favorite flowers. So I'll be telling you first the colors that we'll be using for today's painting tutorial. Quite simple, the colors. So we have titanium white, orange, red, lemon yellow, sap green. We'll be using black later for the background. All right. So what I'm gonna do now is you can see here that I have a square canvas paper. So you can use your square canvas board, square material, anything that you can paint on. So I will be sketching first the subject and I'll be using my yellow in sketching it. I'll be doing first the shape of my of the flower that I'll be doing today, and later we'll proceed to doing the details. All right, so I'm gonna get my brush and I'm gonna dab onto my yellow straight away, because I always tell my viewers that I use paints in sketching. I use my paint straight away. So first I'm going to identify the shape of the subject so that it will be easier for me to proportionate everything. All right, just like that. Okay, quite easy. All right, now let's proceed to doing the underpainting. I'm gonna get my red. Okay, I'm gonna get my red. I'm gonna add tiny bit of sap green to make it quite dark, because we'll be doing first the center. So I'm gonna identify the center of the flower, and this will be the center of the flower. All right, just like that. And I'm gonna wash my brush out because I don't want the dark red to mix with the light colors that I'll be doing next. So I'm gonna get my orange and red, just to make the orange quite strong in color or in tone. And I'm gonna use that. Okay, I'm gonna use more red right here, connecting the center of the flower and the red color. So just make sure you don't touch the center because it's quite wet. The dark colors might mix, but if it mixes, it's all right. We can always paint over the acrylics. All right, now I'm gonna take advantage of this time when the paint is still wet, and I'm gonna dab onto my orange, just pure orange, and without washing my brush, I'm just gonna go and apply some orangey colors. Again, let's take advantage of the wetness of the paint. While it's still wet, let's try to make some blending. So you can always add water to your paints just to make the paint flow or glide smoothly on the canvas. All right, now I'm gonna get my yellow. Again, let's just take advantage of this time. When the paint is still wet, I'm gonna dab onto my yellow and create some gradient effect. And this is the underpainting. Just to remind you, this is not the actual colors of the highlights. This is just to guide us that we're doing a gradient effect today. Okay, I'm gonna get more orange this time. As you can see here, I'm moving quite quickly because again, I want to blend while the paint's still wet. So if you work really slow for this type of painting, you might have a hard time blending unless you're using a retarder or you're using oil paints. But I'm using acrylics and I'm really used to doing my painting quite quickly. As you can see here, again, I'm just gonna finger paint just to blend the colors. I really find that finger painting is really useful in blending. So I'm gonna apply a little bit of orange around this area. Okay, maybe a little bit of red as well. Okay. Of course, there will be areas that are already dry when you reach that part. Like for this area is already dry because you know acrylics dry pretty quick. So I'm just gonna apply more paints and pretend that it's still wet. So I'm gonna dab onto my yellow. Oh, this time I'm gonna wash my brush out because I feel like the orange paint is mixing with my colors. So I'm gonna get my yellow. Okay, again, try to use your fingers, or if you have your own way of mixing your paints, do so, or blending your paints. I really am a fan of finger painting. All right, so we've already created that section of the flower. Okay, let me just finish this part. That the shape of the flower and the general colors that we see on yellowish hibiscus. Okay, I'm gonna apply a little bit of orange right here. All right. Now it will be easier for us to highlight it. Okay, I'm really excited about this one. I'm just so excited. All right. Okay, now that we've already underpainted this part of the flower, I'm just gonna wait for that to dry so that we can proceed to doing more detailing. So I'm gonna do some leaves. I'm gonna use a smaller brush to create some leaf outlines. So I'm gonna get my Sap Green. These are just additional touches to the flower. I mean, we can always just paint the flower without the leaves, but I feel like adding some leaves just make the painting look more realistic. Okay, and okay, this is not the final touches, but let's just identify where the midline of the leaves is located. We'll be doing some details later. For now, let's just take advantage of this time while waiting for the flower colors to dry. All right. Okay, we'll go back to the leaves later. All right, now again, let's make the background while the paint's still wet. So I'm gonna get my black. As I told you guys, we'll be doing some black background today because black is my favorite background color in terms of flowers, especially when the flowers or when the painting is more of a single subject painting like this one that we're doing today. So I'm gonna get my black and I'm just gonna redefine as well the outline by carefully going around the flower outline using black. Well, the reason why I did not use a black canvas, or I did not do first the background before the subject, is because the only space that the black background will be consuming is quite smaller compared to the space that the main subject will be occupying. As you can see here, I have a huge subject compared to the background, so it will be a waste of paint for me if I do the background first and the subject later. Unless, of course, you're using a black canvas already. That's an advantage. You can use that. Only that I have a white canvas paper here, so I'm doing the background last so that I don't waste paint and I don't waste time. Okay, just a few more sides and corners. I'm trying to be a little careful when it comes to the outlines so that I don't smudge the paint. Okay, just a few more. Before we go back to doing the leaves and the flowers, and the flower, I mean. All right, okay. All right, since, oh, I forgot, we should paint this black. All right. Oh, and this area as well. Okay. All right. Now that the background, or now that the flower color is already dry, let's go back to it because I'm just so excited to put on some details on the flower. So for the detailing, I'm just gonna use my yellow here. I'm gonna add white. Okay, so I'm just gonna mix the two colors to create that milky white color. Remember to wash your brush out carefully so that the green or the black color doesn't mix with this color, which is the highlight of the flower. Let me start now the detailing. So using that milky yellow color, I'm gonna start applying some details. Oops. So you can see here, I already touched the black. All right, like that. Okay, here. All right. Okay, like that. Right, like that. Okay, I'm gonna get my white and make some more highlights. As you can see, I'm not really washing my brush. I'm just allowing the colors to mix. Okay, now using the same color, okay, I'm just gonna add some detailing. Alright, just like that. Okay, let's go up here. Oops. Alright, just like that. Okay. I'm gonna wash my brush out. I'm gonna get yellow. And I'm gonna apply more detailing. just gonna correct that part because as you can see here, I mix black, but it's okay. Actually, I really need some shading here to add a little bit of shadow. So to do that, I'm just gonna get my yellow. I'm gonna add my, okay, this color, like yellow, green, and black. Oh, sorry, yellow, green, and red to get that dirty yellow, like this color. You can simply use your gray, but I think the presence of red and yellow in the dark color just gives it a little life. Okay, it's not really dull. Okay, and I'm gonna use the same color right here to add some dimension to the flower. And here. Here's up. Here. So we're doing this dark yellows or dull yellow to create depth and dimension for the flower. Alright, now I'm gonna get my orange, but I'm gonna use quite a lot of water to make it watery orange. And I'm gonna use that to go around certain areas where I want some hints of orange. It looks a little more natural when we do this. Alright, now I'm gonna get my red. So get your red. Let's create some detailing. Like that. These are like veins. But I advise you to use more water than usual so that we create that vein-like brushstroke. Like that. So I'm using a lot of water, as you can see here, just to allow like that. some vein-like looking brush strokes. Okay, now I'm gonna get the red mixture and the green mixture that we had earlier for the center, and I'm just gonna a little bit of spread the color like that. We need more dimension for this flower. Alright, like that. Okay, and using this color, we're going to create some shadows. I'm gonna add red. Also here. And also here. Okay. Now we're going to do, before we go back to the leaves, let's allow the paint to dry. Let's go back to the leaves because we haven't really colored the leaves part. I'm gonna dab onto my sap green. Okay, sap green right away, and just remember those lines that we already did, and just color the leaves this color. You can disregard first the outlines that we did for the veins of the leaves. Just remember where we place it, or where we place those lines. Right, one more leaf and we'll go back to the flower. This is just the underpainting for the leaf. Definitely this is not the actual color that we want for the leaf. All right. Okay. Actually, you cannot see it. I cannot see it on camera because it's too dark, but then we'll go back to that later to create more highlights for the leaves. For now, let's go back to the flower because we haven't really done the center of the flower where the pollens are located or are located. Is that the right the right verb for that? I mean the right adjective for that. I don't know what to call that. Where the pollens are placed, I think. All right. So for the pollens, I think I'm gonna use. So I'm gonna use my yellow. Just use yellow. We'll go to the detailing later, and let's just create. Okay, I'm using the tip of my brush to create this uneven dots. Okay. Right, just like that. This will suggest the pollens when you're looking at a flower or a hibiscus flower from the birds, from like a bird's eye view. All right, just like that. I'm gonna allow that first to dry. All right. Okay, now I'm gonna get my red orange mixture with a little bit of green, and I'm gonna use a tiny amount of this in between those pollens to suggest space and dimension and shadows. All right, don't overdo that step. Just wash your brush out. Now I'm gonna dab onto my white because I'm gonna highlight some areas, especially here. Okay, I'm gonna get my yellow mixture mixed with white to create right, like that. All right. Okay, nice. Okay, now I'm gonna get my white. Let's highlight some areas right here. All right. Then using white. I'm gonna apply it that way to create some shine effect to the flower. Also here. Alright. Here. I'm gonna apply some white. We're doing now the highlights for the leaf, for the petals. And I'm gonna thin those sketch lines. Okay. I'll be using now my black. Okay, using this black, as you can see, it's not super black. I'm just gonna use this to darken. Okay, that's too dark, but I'm just gonna use my water to suggest some shadows. here. Right, like that. Okay. Also here near the pollen area, just darken it, making it more deep, like that. All right, I'm gonna dab onto my red, and I'm just gonna do the same thing. I'm just gonna go around the center of the flower to create more depth. Like that. Okay. Okay, now using white plus tiny bit of yellow, I'm just gonna go around the petals to highlight them even more. All right. Okay, using white again, just make this area quite shiny. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna use my red mixed with black, tiny bit of black. Again, I want to create more depth. Okay, a little bit of orange here. Like that. All right, just like that. Okay, wash your brush out. Now I'm gonna get pure yellow, just pure yellow. Again, just go around the petals. Okay, I'm just going around the petals. So you can see here. All right, this looks good already. But I'm gonna fix some areas later. Let's just allow the paint to dry. Let's go to the leaves now. Let's go back. Okay, so using my dark green, I'm just gonna get my dark green. I'm gonna add black to my green. I'm gonna use this to identify midlines and veins on the leaves. Okay, now I'm gonna add white to that existing green that I have here. Okay, and I'm gonna use this to create some highlights. So those are details on the leaves. Okay. Now I'm going to use some yellow green. So I'm going to mix my yellow and green to highlight even more the leaves. So again, the leaves are just additional um, information for the painting. This is an additional suggestion of what kind of flower are we painting. All right, okay, now let's go back to the flower because the flower is the main focus here. All right, I'm gonna get my yellow again. As you can see, I'm just adding uneven marks. Okay, I'm gonna get my white. All right, this is beautiful. Oh my God. But then I'm gonna add a little more details because the shadows are, I think they're not really that dimensional. So I'm gonna add black. Again, I'll be using a lot of water for this. So I'm gonna use this black to create indentations and folds on the flower. Also here. Some more detailing. All right. More orange right here. So I'm just making the edges of the petals quite uneven. Okay, and just more detailing on the pollens. And the shine here. All right, just like that. More highlight. Right. Oh my God. So nice. So again, I'm just gonna add a little bit of dark colors around here because flowers should have folds. So let's add a little bit of folds. Okay, and using yellow, I'm just gonna highlight. All right. Okay, I'm gonna get my white. Let's add more details on the leaf. So I'm just scrubbing it. The colors. Okay. I'm gonna get my yellow. I'm really obsessing about the details. I'm gonna get my orange. And then red orange down here. Okay, a little bit of highlighting. Right. I'm gonna get my yellow. And I'm gonna glaze it yellow because it's too dark. By glazing it yellow, we remove the super dark lines. More folds right here. Then I'm gonna get my red. We're just doing some detailing that will make the flower look more natural. So you can see here, my detailing are not, or my detailings or my details are not too tight. They are more focused on the colors. Right. Okay, this is really good. I think I'm gonna sign this now because we're done. Oh my god, I'm so happy about this one, guys. I'm so happy about this one. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna get some green and I'm gonna glaze the leaves. Alright, before I do that, I'm gonna get my white and highlight the leaves. Okay, I really don't know what's going on upstairs. I think they're moving chairs and tables. That's why I can hear some moving chairs and tables. Alright. Yup, you heard that. Okay, so I think this is done and we did pretty well today. Oh my god. I'm gonna sign this now because it's done. I am absolutely proud of this painting. So for the signature, I'm just gonna use a smaller brush, a more pointy one, and then I'm just gonna use my white and I'm gonna sign right here. And we're done, guys. We're done. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you like this one, like the video, share this with your friends. Let them know that I exist. So thank you for watching and I hope you enjoyed this one. See you in my next video.